God, I hope I'm in focus. Hey, I'm Brian. Welcome back. This is going to just be my second video. I'm still trying to figure out the format, still trying to figure out exactly what I want to do, exactly kind of content I want to create. So this week I thought I would just go over some of the books that I read this week and really enjoyed. So without further ado, I got my phone down here, so if I don't cut out my look downs, that's all I'm doing. I'm just trying to figure out the author names and the narrator names so I'm not screwing them up. So the first one is Unspeakable Things, a novel by Jess, Lourey. I apologize if that's not your last name or not how you say it. And it was narrated by Caitlin Kelly. Unspeakable Things is one of those books that I think I wrote in my review that it skeeved me out. I had to look up the word skeeved to even figure out if that was the correct usage of it, but gave me the heebie-jeebies, man. It was creepy and well written and well thought out, and my wife used to work for Family Court, and she would tell me stories, nothing as intense and nothing as creepy or crazy as this, but she would tell me stories of things that would happen to little kids and things that would happen in these kind of screwed up families. And I think that the author did a fantastic job bringing some of those to light. I think the entire book was one of those stories that like I kept guessing, and I was like, I don't know if I can figure this book out. And by the time I thought I had it figured out, it would change, and then I thought I had it figured out again, and it would change, and I thought I had it figured out again, and it would change. And holy crap, I didn't see the end coming. She definitely surprised me. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. The narration was fantastic. It really gave, I think it was from an 11-year-old's point of view, if I remember correctly, and it gave that 11-year-old really a voice. She did a good job doing it without being too little kitty, where it's kind of like almost annoying to listen to. So I thought that was really cool and really enjoyable. Next up was Deep State by Chris Hauty. This was narrated by Marin, Ireland. So Deep State was one of those kind of, I was wondering, because the deep state is a very conspiracy-ridden kind of topic. I really like thrillers. I really enjoy political thrillers. I thought I'd really give this one a chance. It's a debut novel from a debut author. I had seen some good hype about this book from a couple people I follow on Twitter, a couple, I think it was The Real Book Spy, if I remember that correctly. I hope that's right. I hope I don't have to edit that one out. On Twitter, who had kind of talked it up a little bit. But it was really kind of, I won't say Jason Bourne-like, because the main character was not trained in a way where she was a professional killer, but she was unexpectedly good at her job. She was an intern, and she kind of helps solve this string of crimes slash kind of silences where like somebody speaks up or could speak up, and all of a sudden they're silenced because they're killed. It was an intriguing book full of lots of the typical thriller tropes, but also kind of full of some new stuff that I thought I had never read before. So that was really enjoyable. So the book is an Audible original. I think it was one of the free ones for, it might have even been for January. It's called Interview with the Robot. I believe it was a middle grade book. It's about 3 or 4 hours long, if I remember correctly. It was a full narration, so it was narrated by Kevin T. Collins, Ellen Archer, Josh Hurley, Eileen Stevens, Aaron Mallon, Jonathan Davis, and Stephen Bell Davies. It was one of those books where it was really well performed, but also it had a lot of the background noises for different events, stuff going on, so you could definitely tell it was well thought out, well performed, well, you know, put together, well edited, well mastered. Things I don't normally say when I'm talking about an audiobook, things that should just be there, but when you have it be more of a performance, you really have to kind of do a really good job on it. So the story itself was also really interesting. It was another family drama kind of thing, but it was basically this little girl gets captured, and she gets captured. No, this little girl gets caught stealing, and she's like very brazenly stealing stuff, and you find out it was for her protection. I won't go too much into detail of why, but she kind of retells her story, and the story is told through flashbacks as she's telling the Child Protective Services woman that's interviewing her what's going on. It's one of those things where it's like, you're never going to believe this. You know, she's told, and as she's telling it, you know, you're listening to it going, holy crap, this can't be real. Obviously, it's a sci-fi story, but, you know, I can't imagine being the lady interviewing her how she would feel. I'd be like, what on earth is happening? So that one was a really intriguing one. I don't know how it's been received. I would assume it's probably a 4-star on Audible. Being a free book, people like to complain about it, but I thought it was a fantastic free book. So and then finally, I just finished, I have not written my review for it yet, but I finished Loveboat Taipei by Abigail Hing, narrated by Emily Wu Zeller. Honestly, the reason I think I wanted to make this video was to talk about this book. Way out of my typical I really completely and unabashedly picked it up because of Emily Wu Zeller's narration of it. I just kind of wanted to hear it. I thought it would be very good and very interesting, and I was spot on right. It tells a story about an Asian American who she's a dancer, and her parents want her to become a doctor. So it's kind of the back and forth there. She is sent to a like a summer school for other students. I think it's like 300 or 400 people, if I remember correctly. But they nickname it Loveboat Taipei because people fall in love there. You're meeting a lot of your peers, a lot of people that are pushed the same way you are, a lot of people that are just as smart as you are. So yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. It was a really cool story about rebellion for rebellion's sake, and then kind of realizing who you were, realizing where you came from and the sacrifices your parents have made. And then it was a really good story about kind of finding your purpose and kind of moving forward. So I really liked that one. I have not written my review yet. It's probably coming out Sunday whenever this video is sent. It'll be out Sunday of the week that I'm in right now. I'm recording this on a Saturday. So but yeah, those are the books I read this week. I had a pretty full reading week. More books than I usually read. I think I'm usually at 3-ish books a week, and this week was, I think, 4 I just went over, and I'm almost at a 5th if you count the weekend. So but yeah, thank you again for watching. I really appreciate it, and if you want to continue seeing more content like this, subscribe. I know I'm just getting started, and I know the BookTube community has been very welcoming, and I thank everyone in the BookTube community for that. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.